Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 46. Well, we wrapped up our patrol mission and collected our pay, and every other contract in town was a delivery mission, so I went ahead and grabbed one, and en route we spotted this small pack of Goblin Raiders. I figured it would make a nice, quick and easy warm-up fight, so let's get in there. This is a nice diverse mix of goblins, and as we've seen, these guys can be insidiously dangerous, but I'm not anticipating any significant difficulty here. Though I am now realizing I should have probably put Belfontaine on shield wall. He's still one of our most vulnerable frontliners, and he is taking a beating. Alright, we've got the Wolf Riders rushing up, but there's not really enough of them for them to go for their usual flanking tactics. Here come the skirmishers as well. The only one of those skirmishers who's likely to be dangerous is the one who just hid in those bushes there with the jagged pike. Let's see if we can clear our front line here. Alessandro just put an arrow through that rider's chest. And Mark put an arrow through another rider's neck. And Rowan is up. Let's see if we can land another hit here. Woe is up. And he takes down a wolf. Nicely done. Quickly followed by the rider as well. And there's Eraton dropping another rider. And Belfontaine continues being a chew toy on our front line. Reinhard moves up to provide cover for Belfontaine, takes down another wolf. And let's just start pushing up the rest of our frontliners. Chiron engages a skirmisher. Rondis moves up. No, we'd better leave Rondis where he is. With 4 ambushers still on the board, we can't afford to leave our archers open. Janos will move up. And he takes a shot at the pikeman, but doesn't land it. Belfontaine will hop the line and take cover behind our archers. And we're pretty much done. Moving into round 2. Here comes another volley of poisoned arrows. That went pretty well. Here comes their last rider. Woe takes a light hit. Reinhard just took a light bleeding wound. Nothing to worry about. Rowan's been engaged. Okay, our own archers are back up, so let's see if they can start taking out some of the ambushers. There's a miss. Alessandro puts an arrow through a rider's leg. I do want to keep firing at the ambushers, but they're very difficult targets. I guess we've just got to keep trying. Oh, there we go. Potato puts an arrow through an ambusher's knee. And Mark puts an arrow through a rider's hand. Rowan takes a shot at point-blank range, but misses, so he quickly switches off to his pike, and misses that as well. Woe has a bit more luck. He punctures a rider's face with his pike, then follows up by killing the rider's wolf, and finishing off the rider as well. Eraton moves up to support Rowan, promptly punching a hole in the last rider's chest. Rondis finally moves up, engaging a skirmisher. And he brutally stabs the goblin in the kidney. Nicely done. Chiron quickly follows up, finishing off the maimed goblin. Reinhard ignores his bleeding injury, starts mauling the goblin in front of him, putting a spear through his knee. Janos squares off against his elevated target. Switches off to his great hammer. But can't get past the goblin shield. And the ambushers are up. Volley 3 begins, and Wojtek immediately takes a poisoned arrow through the neck. I guess I was a bit premature in moving up my frontliners there. Well, it certainly could have been worse. At least you can immediately negate a neck injury by using a roll of bandages. Unfortunately, Wojtek has not mastered the art of bandaging himself, so we'll just pull him back to a slightly safer position, and one of the other archers will bandage him up when they get the chance. Alessandro is up, and this time I guess we really should focus on trying to take down those ambushers. Potato quickly staunches Wojtek's bleeding wound. Mark drops a wolf with his first shot, and a rider with his second. Then he launches a third wild shot over the remaining goblins' heads. Rowan moves up, pike still in hand, and he quickly drops another skirmisher. Eraton moves up ahead of him, engaging an ambusher. Belfontaine falls back into the bushes. Rondis spies an opening, moves up, and readies his greatsword. Actually, against a shielded target, I probably should have stuck with the dagger. Too late now. He thrusts into the goblin formation, but fails to land a hit. Chiron whittles away at another skirmisher. Woe moves up in preparation for next turn. Reinhard, still bleeding from that nasty gash, will ignore his growing blood loss and move up, thrusting his spear through an ambusher's arm, and then he switches off to his dagger and finishes off the goblin with another strike. In fact, that just broke the morale on most of the remaining goblins, so we'll just start pinning them down before they can flee. Our archers are pretty much done at this point. They'll just hold back. Belfontaine will obviously hang back as well, and round 4. It looks like the remaining ambushers are making a fighting withdrawal. And there's one more poisoned arrow. Alessandro is lightly wounded. We'll return fire on their ambushers, but the odds of hitting are pretty low. At this point, it's really the frontliners who are going to finish things. Though Alessandro did just put an arrow through a skirmisher's kidney. Okay, let's start weighting our guys up there. I guess it couldn't hurt to switch Rowan back off to his crossbow. Not that it did us any good. Really, I think it's pretty safe to say at this point that ranged weapons aren't really great when you're facing skirmishers or ambushers. They work just fine on wolf riders, but you want to get up close and stick with melee attacks if at all possible. Chiron moves in, locking down 3 foes at once. Reinhard follows up by readying his spear and landing a decent hit on a badly wounded skirmisher. Rondis moves in, impaling 2 goblins on his greatsword with 1 thrust. And I guess we're moving into round 5. That one ambusher is probably going to escape, but we'll at least try to stop this other one. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could send a dog after that other ambusher, but I'm not sure it's worth it. I guess we should at least make a token effort to run him down. Our archers will continue holding back. And our frontliners will continue hacking down every greenskin in their path. There goes the second to last goblin ambusher, so let's go ahead and start dropping some dogs on the field. Kazarin's dog engages the last ambusher, locking it down. Woe moves up, but he's too exhausted to unleash his dog. Janos can go ahead and let his new dog off the leash. Hyde takes to the field, rushing up to join the fray against the final goblin. And pushing into round 6. There's some minor armor well. I guess that was tragic, but it's not like we had time to get attached to hide. Man. Okay, well, I guess it wasn't worth sending the dogs after this guy. I really should have just let him go. But we're committed now, so let's go ahead and avenge Hyde, and we'll just pick up another war dog next time we get a chance. Reinhard plunges his dagger hilt deep into the goblin's gut. Woe moves up, Kazarin moves up, and Rondis moves in, readying his legendary dagger. Ooh, but he misses. Janos moves in. And I guess this goblin gets one more round to live, pushing into round 7. The goblin takes a little more armor damage from our remaining dog. And Eraton is up, swiftly bringing the fight to an end. Well, we lost another dog, but at least Woe hits level 9. Which makes sense, considering he got a whopping 5 kills in that fight. The loot's the usual array of goblin trash, so we'll just grab everything and unload it in the next town, and then we'll continue on our way to Sea Camp. A low hum emanates from nearby. Thinking a beehive nearby, you instinctively duck, only to realize the sound is coming from the cargo Enar of Weedmark had handed you. The lid atop the container is rattling side to side, jostling the latches and nails that are supposed to keep it there. Kazarin the Aegis looks a little frightened. Just leave it here. That thing ain't right. Well, I'm loath to abandon a contract, so let's, uh-oh. The box magnetizes you. Without hesitation, you crank the cargo open and take a look inside. You smell before you see, a horrid stench overwhelming you almost to the point of blindness. One of the men pukes, another retches. When you look back at the box, blackened tendrils of smoke are sifting out of it, stretching long and far, probing the ground as they go. When they find what they're looking for, they dive into the earth, yanking up bones of dead men like a lure would a fish. Well, that happened. Well, this is definitely a bad spot to be in. I generally try to avoid fighting skeletons even under the best circumstances. And in this case, we're stuck fighting ancient legionaries with archers, and we're completely surrounded, so we can't reasonably retreat to the edge of the battlefield. We can still use the nuclear retreat option. We can open up the escape menu and retreat from there. That would let us escape, but it would also automatically seriously injure everyone in the party. We'll go ahead and fight for now. As you can see, I'm trying to focus our archers on trimming the armor off of the closest pikemen. They're not going to be able to do any significant damage once the armor is gone, but their arrows can at least get rid of the armor so our frontliners don't have to. We've also got this one shield-wielding legionary right in the middle of our formation. We need to contain him as quickly as possible while also setting up fronts on the north and the west to prevent the other skeletons from being able to reach our archers. Okay, we've got some ancient auxiliary coming in. That's actually a little reassuring. It means that at least some of the 13 skeletons we're facing here are actually weaker, unarmored auxiliary. There's another one. I guess another small advantage we have here, relatively speaking. Let's get this guy off elevation. There we go. One of the smaller advantages we have here is that normally legionaries would set themselves up into a 2-row defensive formation with shields up front and pikes in back. But because they started off surrounding us in kind of a chaotic ambush formation, we may actually be able to isolate their pikemen and kill them before they can get into a well-entrenched position. Of course, we're Still going to have a heck of a time dealing with the shielded legionaries, though. Those guys have tremendous defense attributes, and of course we didn't bring any axes with us. We've got pikemen incoming. We definitely need to see if we can kill that one on the left, on the west side there. And these two on the north side as well. Though we won't engage them yet, we want them to come to us. Okay, archers. Let's hit these guys with a few more arrows that will knock off a bit more of their armor while also debuffing them with Overwhelm, which will, in turn, make it harder for them to hit us when they inevitably start attacking people. Oh, hey, look at that. Potato strikes our first kill with a lucky long axe swing. Well, our west is more or less clear, except for that one shielded legionary, and it's going to take him 2 turns to reach us. So now we can start focusing on defending from another direction. Again, we don't want to engage these pikemen prematurely. They can only move a maximum of 1 space and still attack, so we're waiting for them to approach us. That way they have to give up their attack. Okay, we'll focus on the north. Archers keep trimming off armor for us. Not bad. Let's get... This actually doesn't look too bad so far, but we're definitely not seeing all of the enemies. There's more lurking out in the fog of war somewhere. Okay, Rondis hold position. Reinhard can move up to engage, though. He'll lock down that approaching skeleton and take a couple of quick swings. There's a decent chunk of armor damage. And we've got more legionnaires approaching from the north. Okay, the pikemen are moving in. That means it's finally time to step up and engage them. Oh, we've got this one coming in on the east, too. Hopefully we can take out this guy with the shield efficiently. But I'm certainly not holding my breath. Let's switch Kazarin off to his spear for the accuracy bonus. And he trimmed off the rest of the Legionnaire's armor. Unfortunately, Janos still can't get past that shield. Alright, Oswald, let's move you up. And that revealed 2 more Legionnaires right at the edge of the battlefield. Oswald grabs his warbrand and starts laying into the... Actually, he'll make an arcing swing. Not bad, that trims off a little armor on both of them. Vlad steps up and pierces the helmet on one of the enemy pikemen. Henry moves in and takes a swipe at the shielded legionnaire on our south side. Rondis finally engages and readies his greatsword. There we go. He crushes one of the 2 skeletal pikemen into the ground. Our archers are back up, so this time they'll focus fire on the east, since we've got 2 incoming there. Okay, Oop. There's some minor hits on Rondis, nothing to worry about. Henry finally lands a hit on that shielded skeleton. Okay, we've trimmed all the armor off of that pikeman on the east. Let's start firing to the north now. There's a minor armor hit. Okay, Vlad is up. He'll take a swing at the Legionnaire there. Nice, he punches through its helmet as well, then quickly switches off to his shield. Reinhard continues holding the west side all by himself. Dominic knocks the skeletal shieldman to the brink of re-death. Oswald cuts down our 3rd skeletal pikeman with his warbrand. Nicely done. Reinhard is up, so he counterattacks his foe. And he manages to chip off about half his health. We've got a shieldman engaging Rondis, and another one. Fortunately, he has the underdog perk, so he can't be overwhelmed. Rondis takes a great swing, but I think he only hit one of his foes. He follows up with a quick dagger strike. Oof, yeah. The majority of these guys are definitely on the north. We've got a pikeman in unfortunate position. He's taken up an elevated perch. Kasserine finally finishes off the shieldman on our east side. Janos begins fighting back against the unarmored auxiliary, crushing it with a single swing. Nicely done. That just leaves this pikeman over here, so we'll move Janos up to engage, and we'll probably back him up with one brother, but the rest of our brothers need to reroute to the north. Vlad holds his ground. Oswald will move up to engage. Let's keep these guys contained. Yeah, we should be able to move some other brothers to block that other legionary before he can reach our archers. Okay, top of round 4. Our archers are up, so let's start firing into the skeletal formations. This will do more armor damage and continue sprinkling overwhelm debuffs all over them. Henry's up. He trims off half a pikeman's health and grabs his shield. I'd like to move Vlad up, but I'm worried it would make him too vulnerable, so we'll hold back for now. That will give the archers a bit more time to keep peppering these guys with arrows. Mark is up. He dings and debuffs the shieldman on our northeast. Dominic moves up to support Janos, trims off a bit more health on that pikeman. Rondus continues fending off the skeletal horde. Oswald doles out a couple of armor-peeling strikes, but takes one in return, and actually now he's starting to get a little surrounded. We may need to switch him back off to his shield in a second. Oh yeah, okay, we definitely need to put him back on the defensive. I don't believe he has the underdog perk, so the more foes he's facing, the easier they'll be able to take him apart. Rondus readies his greatsword and thrusts it through 2 ranks, crushing the skeleton in front of him. And he's too exhausted to take a follow-up swing. He'll have to recover next turn. For now, we'll get him back onto his shield. Kasserine will leave the pikemen to Janos and Dominic, moving up to support Oswald instead. And it looks like he made the right call, because Janos easily crushes the last remaining pikemen on our southeast. Vlad finally steps up into a well-secured battle line, and lashes out with his pike, but can't make it past his foe's shield. Moving into round 5, let's get the frontliners up there and assemble a halfway decent battle line. Our archers are up. We'll continue peppering the last remaining pikemen. Vlad doles out a decent armor hit. Our archers have almost shot off all the armor on that pikeman. It'll be a lot easier to kill once I can move someone up to engage it. Bunny puts a couple of arrows into the shielded legionary trying to flank Rondus. And Mark puts 2 more arrows into it, just for good measure. Ooh. Oswald's in pretty good shape, but he's lost... Okay, he's lost all of his armor now. But he'll be up in just a second, so... Oh, hey, there we go. Reinhard finally frees up our west side, and moves up to join the north line. Oswald is on the brink of exhaustion, so we'll just put him back onto his shield and dagger for now. And he'll take 1 swing. No luck there. Kasserine will give Oswald a little space with a quick shield bash. There we go. Oh, but Kasserine's too exhausted to actually take advantage of it. Rondus will ready his greatsword again. And, oh right, he needs to recover, so he'll spend the turn recovering. Janos starts circling up around the right side. Henry Baggins will move a little closer. Vlad will hold his ground. And I think we're pretty much done, moving into round 6. This is actually going pretty well. Henry readies his banner. And he doesn't land a hit, but he at least debuffs his opponent. Vlad takes aim as well, and manages to knock another foe off of Oswald. Our archers are up. And of course they're going to continue firing on that pikeman and any other target they can find an opening to. They're certainly not going to kill any of these guys with arrow fire, but, like I said, it's all about neutralizing armor and doling out debuffs. Dominic charges in, covering Oswald's flanks. Though I think Oswald's got it under control at this point. Yeah, he's fine. Let's switch Mark off to his second quiver here. And we'll put a few more arrows into the pikemen. We're just doing minor health damage now. Rondus takes another great swing, completely clearing out his foes. Then he steps up to cover Oswald's left flank. Ooh, but he just took a fairly hefty armor hit there. His armor's at about 50%. Oswald recovers. Reinhard moves up to finally engage that last remaining pikeman. He'll knock the pikeman off this Purge. There we go. That makes the pikeman significantly less dangerous. Kazarin recovers his breath. Janos moves up to engage. Henry holds his ground. Vlad holds his ground. I think we're pretty much done for the round, so... Moving into round 7. Henry takes a shot. Debuffs his opponent. Oswald lashes out with his dagger, but doesn't land any hits. Vlad is up and trims off half his foe's armor. Our archers continue pelting that pikeman. And that's a minus 30% penalty to the pikeman's accuracy. Dominic continues trimming away at those two annoying shield men. Bunny puts yet another debuff on the pikemen. Kazarin will circle the line and... Actually, he'll cut across and lock that pikeman down. Our archers will start moving up to where they can fire through our ranks. Rondus will take a swipe with his dagger and then quickly switch off to his greatsword for a... Oh, and he's too exhausted again. Reinhard moves in, on the brink of exhaustion. Oh, but he still finishes off the pikeman with one more dagger thrust. Nicely done. Now that we've neutralized all of the pikemen, the fight is pretty much over. It's just a matter of chipping away at these shield-bearing legionaries until we can finally knock them out of the fight. That's not really going to be hard, it's just going to be time-consuming. So let's see how quickly we can wear them down. We'll move in the rest of the archers to help expedite the process. Kazarin steps in from the side and trims off about a quarter of a shieldman's health. Oh, make that half. The last of our archers moves up. Dominic drops one of the badly damaged skeletons. And then Oswald lays into the other one, trimming off the rest of its armor. Reinhard is still exhausted, so he takes a moment to recover. There we go. Rondus finishes the fight with one last swing. Rondus was definitely invaluable in that fight. In fact, he pulled MVP with a whopping 5 kills. Nicely done, Elk Lord. We've also got a couple of level ups. Fox hits 12 and Reinhard hits level 11. Congratulations. And what is this? An eerie skull carved from a single large crystal. No scratch or other mark can be seen on its surface. Just being near it kills the fire of determination in almost any man, breaks hope, and lets sprout doubts. Well, I've certainly never seen that before. Apparently it reduces the resolve of adjacent foes, but also caps the morale of whoever's carrying it, so it's a trade-off. That's, very interesting. I'm not sure we'll use it, but it's interesting. Alright, well, let's go ahead and grab all this loot and... Oh, it looks like we're just over our limit here. We'll dump one of these goblin shields and grab that last helmet and be on our way. The battle over, you quickly rush over to the artifact, finding it floating in the air. Bunny runs up to your side. "Destroy it, sir, before it causes any more trouble." Well, that was a tough fight, but we made it through without any casualties. And I certainly don't want to make a habit of backing out of contracts now, so... We're paid to deliver this, so that's what we'll do. So that means next time we'll be picking up as we continue our journey to Sea Camp. See you then. Hey, RetconRaider here. Well, I have to admit, that delivery mission to Sea Camp ended up being a bit more than I had bargained for. I knew that special events could trigger during cargo delivery missions, but in my experience it was usually just limited to bandit attacks and the occasional opportunity to rip off your employer by stealing their cargo. I've never run into a box full of skeletons before. Fortunately, it looks like the raiders managed to fight off the undead horde despite having the odds stacked against them. Like I said during the episode, I generally try to avoid fighting legionaries. In fact, I consider them to be some of the most frustrating enemies in the game. When those things got the jump on us, I was sure we were going to end up losing someone before the battle was over. While I'm certainly happy that we were victorious in the end, I'm also not going to let that go to our heads. If that ambush had included some of the deadlier skeletal foes, such as honor guards or even a fallen priest, then it would have made for a much harder fight, and things could have ended very differently. One thing is certain, I think we're about done taking on delivery missions. We're over 100 days into the campaign at this point, and delivery missions just don't offer enough gold to justify the time it takes to finish them. We're only being paid 1,000 crowns to deliver this box full of skeletons to Sea Camp, and it's going to take at least 3 more days to reach our destination and then travel back to Weedmark. In the future, I think we'll just stick with more straightforward contracts, the kind that involve slaughtering orcs and bandits. The men probably prefer that kind of work anyway. This is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love to play Battle Brothers, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website or the fan-run wiki. Links are in the description.